Hey everybody, welcome back to Generation X Nation. Y'all saw the thumbnail. I'm about to get into this Belle Collectors and them fools down there in Huntsville, okay? Now, before we get started, as always, thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I'm almost at my goal and I definitely appreciate it, okay? It does not go unnoticed. I do my best to get back to you guys, each and every one of you. I leave comments, I leave likes, I leave heart emojis. I just want you to know that it does not go unnoticed when you take the time out of all these people and stop to look at my video for 5, 10, or watch the whole video. I don't care. Okay. Now, as always on this channel, everything is alleged in my opinion and for entertainment purposes only. I repeat, alleged in my opinion and for entertainment purposes only. These are just my opinions. I don't have a dog in this fight because I know you Huntsville fans, y'all be getting real deep into this. All right. I understand the shows are edited and we only see what they let us see. There's probably some stuff that stayed on the edit room floor that we'll never know about. All right. I wait a little while before I do my videos because I like to see if somebody posted something different on social media as far as the cast and the crew. But it doesn't seem like they had a lot to say about this episode. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to get Belle Collectives out the way really quick. Okay. Okay. With Belle Collectives, I appreciate it kind of started off with Tamara at her family, helping her dad. He just got out of the hospital, which they thought was a stroke, but according to Tamara, they don't know what it is, what happened to him. Tamara, my advice to you, get him a second opinion. Maybe take him to the doctor in Memphis. I know Memphis is maybe the next major city close to Mississippi, but I don't know exactly where Jackson stands. But if you can, get him to Louisiana or get him to Memphis somewhere. Maybe get a second opinion. You might find out what really happened to your dad. Just my opinion, but we wishing him the best and hopefully he get well soon and be back to his old feisty self. All right. Next, we're gonna talk about Latrice came to Tamara's house and they sat down and they had a conversation. And then Tamara said, I need to reintroduce myself to these ladies because apparently they don't know who I am. And I'm like, child, you done been on the show for 7 seasons. They don't know you. I can understand Carrie, she's new. But according to you, and the rest of the girlies, y'all all been knowing each other around town and they know nothing about you at the same time. Because Selena came into the show saying she knew you, she was your friend. Latrice said y'all was friends. Marie and Letitia said y'all was friends, but they don't know nothing about you. I'm sure Latrice seems to know more because you seem to be very close with her. Now, did you grow up? I can't remember if she actually grew up in Mississippi because the other ladies I know for sure are all natives of Mississippi. Okay, so they may know each other a little better. But we know Tamara's on the radio show. We get that. But it's just weird to me. After several seasons, you did not open up enough for us to get to know you, the audience, and your castmates. I don't live in Mississippi, but at least the castmates should have known you better. Um, and then I appreciate the advice that she gave Latrice about the fibroid surgery because that is a big issue with Black women. And make sure she advocates for herself. And if she don't want a full hysterectomy, you let that doctor know. Save your eggs or whatever the case may be. That was good advice. All right. Let's get with Lynn and Letitia on spa day. Glenn never do. Let me back up because I don't know them personally. But on the screen that we see on our television sets, we never see Glenn doing nice stuff for Letitia unless he have an ulterior motive. Taking her to the spa was to try to butter her up so he can be her manager. And as soon as he mentioned it, and Letitia said, what does managers do? He had no clue what they do. Glenn, if you're going to go and try this trick, because you always playing mental games with Letitia and she falls for it every time. It's that a cycle. I'm not going to call it a cycle of any type of abuse. It's just a mental abuse cycle you do. You screw up and then you soften the blow. And then she comes back into your loving arms. Then you screw up, then you soften the blow. And then she comes back into your loving arms. Remember, you did a whole wedding at the last minute using her uh, event planner to try to remarry her again. Remember that after you had screwed up. So here go Glenn once again. I screwed up. Let me go wine and dine my wife, get in her good graces, and she'll let me be her manager. Manager of what? Now I know in my previous video I said I already peeped this. Glenn wants to be part of it. He wants to be part of her growth. He wants to be part of what she got going on. I guess he wants to be famous. I don't know. And I said, Letitia, let Glenn be a co-manager or something. Let him follow your real manager around so he can learn something. So if your real manager is not there, Glenn can substitute. But Glenn, dumb behind, then wouldn't piss the real manager off. And so now he's suspended. Glenn, you played your cards all wrong. All right. Letitia, give him a spot on your team. I don't care if he has to go and mop the floor after the game, after the sessions are over or something, but he just want to be part of it. And as your husband, you married him. Y'all been together since high school. You married him. So you have to tolerate this stuff because we know you ain't going nowhere. So stop putting us through it because we know y'all gonna be together till the end of time. And I don't advocate for nobody leaving each other, but stop acting every season like I want this and that. I want to be separated from Glenn on this partner. Glenn ain't gonna allow that. So either you give him something to do or he gonna keep bugging you. All right. And as far as you being celibate and being married, that's another story. We'll talk about that later on. Letitia, just get that man a job. And let's talk about Selena and Letitia. Selena and Letitia, like I said, Selena is CSI Selena. She gonna get to the bottom of anything dealing with her. And she said, hey, before I go down here to Columbia and get my teeth done, we gonna find out what happened and why it happened. And as always, all roads point to Carrie. Carrie was the bone carry. That's all I'm gonna say. Carrie did what she needed to do to get this conversation started and on the show. Selena said, I'm gonna handle it like I handle. I'm gonna handle it with you girls when I get back, and Mike gonna handle it with you boys. Kudos to Selena, because we can squash it all at once. And I watch Carrie get the back paddling, right? Um, as they said, I'm sorry. Let me go back because I'm looking at my notes. I loved it when Selena, or I don't know if it was Selena or Letitia said that Carrie got spooked into submission. She did. Because when they were sitting down there at that tea and they kept going, hitting her with them questions, her story just kept changing. And I said it in my last video. Y'all gotta watch it. Y'all gotta follow my channel, honey. I said, Carrie is the problem. And Carrie the one that brung it up and she tried to put it off on everybody else. Because you know, Latrice sat down with Carrie and let her know, keep my husband's name out of your mouth. And she ain't brought Cliff name back up in it since then. Marie and her son, I love to see that they're working on a relationship and they're somewhat cool again. And she got grandbabies because y'all know some seasons back, Marie and her sons was living with her and she had an incident at her house that was very dangerous and somebody could have got injured really bad. But thank God nothing happened. So that might have been one of the reasons why they was having their little rift there. But apparently the son has grown up. But I will say this about her son. He wants to start his own business. You are literally getting a free college education in business 101 with your mama, but you don't want to go over there and work for her. You want to open up a dispensary. I'm not saying defer your dreams. What I'm saying is go over there and learn the logistical parts of running a business. And when you get that part together, then open yours up. Meaning your mom got 9 facilities. You can learn the logistical part as far as supplies and where to order things from. You can learn payroll. You can learn accounting. You can learn how to set up shifts and hours, how to pay your bills, your water, let you can learn all of that and get it all set up right there working for your mom for about a year or two and just seeing what she does behind the scene to keep the business running. And then you take all of that and open up your business. That saves you thousands of dollars going to some type of business school or getting a degree in business at some college for $50,000 a year when you got a free education on how to do business 101 from your mama. Y'all better start utilizing the resources that's in front of you that are free. Okay? You may not want to get into the field that she's in, but you can learn the ins and out of certain types of businesses. Because if you're going to do a dispensary, you can probably do the pharmaceutical part, I believe. That's something she could help you with because she does stuff in the medical field. So she can show you how to possibly take prescriptions and hire pharmacists, and you can get medicinal marijuana along with just selling it the other way. Because I don't know what the laws as far as marijuana is in Mississippi. I don't know. I didn't check it. Some states is legal, some states is not. Use that. Go work for your mama for about a year to 2 years and get the insights on all of that. And then while you working with her, you may meet up with people, loan officers and things like that, that can help you get started. Never turn down an opportunity to learn, especially from somebody who's always successful. I don't know what's wrong with you young kids. Matt, Carrie, and Letitia and Glenn, okay, they're bowling. Once again, Glenn comes in there with his chest out. Yeah, I can do this and that. I can out bowl. Glenn picks up the ball and drop it. I swear to God, Glenn, you is one weak man. And you try to look strong every time. But no disrespect to weak again. I do my shows week by week based on what is edited on the television screen. Everything is alleged in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. All right. I know shows are edited, so when I do these reviews, I do it by what I see on the screen. And right now, Glenn, you showing me a little bit of weakness. Okay. Now, with that being said, um, they sat down for a brief minute, and then Glenn brought up, "I want to be the manager again." And then Carrie looked him in the face and said, "What's your skill set?" He didn't have an answer. And he basically said what I've been saying for the last 2 to 3 weeks. He just want to be a part of Letitia's blow up. That's it. He wants to be included in it. He wants to be face spotlight, riding around in the limos with her, or the car, the black SUVs flying over the country. Whatever Letitia got going on, Glenn wants to be front, center, and present. Glenn, that is possible, but you're gonna have to change. You're gonna have to change the way you move, and you can't just be running up on sets and stuff. Do better, Glenn. And I'm sure she can find something for you to do, like the person who go fluff her pillows in her room before she go to bed at night at the local hotel or resort. I don't know. But that's all Glenn really wants. And we already peeped that out. But Glenn, you're gonna have to chill just a little bit. Tamara, the sip and see. Again, as I said before, you've been on here for 7 seasons. And you're telling us that you are reintroducing yourself to the ladies. So during the off season, do y'all not hang out? I know you hang out with Latrice, and I know Selena said that she had known you when she came on the scene. But you've been here since season one, and you're telling me since season one, you, Marie, Letitia, Latrice, y'all, you don't know each other. Marie and Letitia know nothing about you, but you came in as a Belle for season one. That's real weird to me. That's why we felt you just came in, did your scenes, and left. We know you work at the radio station, so you're not always going to be there. And as far as Damon did exactly what he do every time. He went to the little museum of timbre, did what he needed to do, and then he bailed out and said, "I got to go to work." Now, personally, if you knew you were filming this that day and the men's was going to be there and the ladies was going to be there, couldn't Damon at least called off one day for this thing? Because he's always, and again, I ain't knocking no man for work, and do you, boo, if you got to work, work. But it just seems to me that he knew this was going on. Why did he just take one day off? One day just to get this out of the way. And then any questions they would have of him or the men's may have had, he could have answered. Because Damon never really says much. And this is why they say you guys aren't transparent, or you aren't transparent. Now the museum was beautiful, but I figured like, you was a cheerleader, makes sense. Your parents been together a long time, makes sense. All of that was beautiful. I'm just confused how they just learning this about you. You've been on this show for 7 seasons. They never knew you was a cheerleader in high school. You've been on this show for 7 seasons. According to you, you and Latrice are good friends, and you never told about the story of your leg being broken as a baby. I don't know. Maybe you got something where you don't like opening up to people, but that seemed weird to me. Again, just my opinion. London Simone was absolutely gorgeous. I'm glad you allowed the ladies to sit down, everybody to introduce the baby to everybody, and they was able to see the baby for the first time. And I think that girl about 2 years old, possibly three, and you never showed them to your friends, and you saying, um, they're saying I'm not transparent, so I'm gonna show 'em. It took you that 7 seasons to show them this. And now your baby is about 3 years old before they get to see the baby. And y'all live in the same town. And y'all supposed to be Bells, sisters for life. That's just weird to me. So you never took her to a 1 year old birthday party or nothing where the ladies were able to see her? All right, Tamara. Now, after all that's said and done, the ladies split off, the men split off, they get to talking and everything. And once again, the whole Carrie of it all comes up. Let me tell you something. Carrie is that person, like most reality stars. They come on one season, they may be okay. They kind of toned down a little bit, so you like them. You say, "Hey, come back. I want to see more." And then that sophomore season, they turn into who they are. That's Carrie. Carrie is messy to me. Carrie was this the first season, but because she kept it toned, because she was all about girl power and come to my house and we gonna all do this together. And I love the Bells and I want us to do. She came in like that. I think she was trying to using her to replace Aisha or Akeisha. What was her name? Ikea, whatever the lady name. You know I'm talking about, the one that's married to the football player. I think that's what Carrie was trying to do, but it fell flat because you end up being the bone carrier, Carrie. You end up being the mess starter. You end up stirring the pot. So that did not work as far as I am concerned with Carrie coming in there that way. Um, Last but not least, the guys came in and they started to huddle and they was gonna, I guess eventually get ready to leave. And then they started talking about hooking Marie up. And then Marie starts telling her about an experience she had with a young lady in high school. Those men were cringing like, whoa. Marie TMI, and I know people say Marie like to be herself. She gonna tell y'all she ain't hiding nothing, but it's a time and a place, baby, for everything. And that was TMI. Too much information in front of those men. Now, if it was just all you girls there, y'all sipping tea, fine. But them men didn't need to know all that. Even though they wise and may go back and tell them, it didn't need to come directly out of your mouth like that. Because the look on Cliff and the rest of their faces was like, whoa, that's too much for me. Men do get uncomfortable sometimes when y'all talking about stuff like that. Um, Last but not least, all of them kept saying, we got some men that you can meet. I got friends here. I got friends I could hook you up with and all that stuff. Well, why haven't y'all been doing that? Y'all knew she was single. So hopefully, Marie, you meet the man of your dreams if you ain't met him by now, because I know these shows was recorded long time ago. Looked like way back in the winter, the way y'all was dressed. However, hopefully she has met the person that she wants to be with by now. Tamara, I appreciate the effort. We do know a little bit more about you. I'm just surprised for 7 seasons they didn't even know he was a cheerleader in high school, because that's what you're trying to let us know. I mean, who doesn't say that to a friend? Like, yeah, I used to be a cheerleader in high school. I used to run track in high school. Oh, I played volleyball in high school. They never knew you was a cheerleader in high school. But you said you transparent, and I get the trust issue because Maria and Letitia once again were the two women who found your old boyfriend back in earlier seasons and tried to bring him around and question you about him. I know that. I said it in my last 2, 3 videos. I can understand why you don't trust him. But at season 7 by now, you should have been able to get past that because they haven't bothered you since y'all are a collective, and you should have started working on bringing that friendship out. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say about Belle Collective. Once again, let me see if I missed anything. Letitia, make sure you make sure you find Glenn a job. And for the love of God, how you married and celibate? I, that's your husband has a tendency to go outside, and he has a wandering eye, and he would DM somebody. 3 red flags. He will DM a person. He has a wandering eye, and he loves being outside. And y'all already had a close call. That's another red flag. I ain't saying, do something that you don't feel comfortable doing, but he is your husband, and that ain't gonna last long. And promise you, nobody wants to be back on the couch watching TV and Glenn out here going to another paternity test. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. With that being said, we're going to move on to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let me get my notes real quick. All right, we're going to get to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Once again, I do my commentary on episode to episode, what I see on the screen every week. I know the shows are edited and we may not get the whole version, but I'm going to talk about what they showed me on the television screen, okay? Because you Huntsville fan, y'all work differently. Promise y'all do. I mean, I, I'm into reality TV and I'm slowly switching into other stuff, but y'all get way, way too deep into Huntsville. And for me, it's just a television show. I don't know these people personally. I wish them all the best. I understand what happened earlier seasons with previous castmates and all that stuff. But baby, I don't have a dog in this fight. Okay? But you know what? I will say this. I have probably ordered something from every entrepreneur on that show. I have 7th Avenue products. I have Stormy's glaze and that cinema that she makes. I love that. And I ordered another scent. I forgot what it was. I have to go look at it. It smells really good. I don't I support black businesses. Okay? I have black champagne. I still got a bottle left. I've ordered that. And I'm gonna tell you something about Marceau and Letitia. Even though y'all don't like Letitia and Marceau, for whatever reasons you may not. I've always said Letitia and Marceau was supposed to be the next couple up, and they could have done it if it's not for Letitia and sometimes acting immature on the screen. It turns people off. However, I ordered a bottle of black champagne for them one year, and this was years ago when they first started selling it. I ordered a bottle and I think it came in. So I probably ordered about 2 or 3 bottles and it came in. Then the next time I ordered a bottle, it didn't come in. It got lost in the tracking system. I don't know what happened, but I never got it. I didn't go on social media and start blasting them because stuff happens in business. I order stuff from regular companies and they'll get caught up. So I sent a email to whatever address they had on their contact address, and I said, "Hey, I screenshotted my receipt. I even screenshotted the tracking where it showed it stopped here, and I never got it. So somebody could have just stole it out of out of the post office or however they mailed it." I sent it to them. And I said, "Hey, I ordered this. It's paid for. Hey, go the receipt. Hey, go the tracking. But it's been blah. I forgot how many weeks. I don't know if they had ran out or whatever. But I said, I haven't received anything, but it shows that it stopped here at this place and I never got it." I don't know if this was intentional or not, but instead of one bottle of champagne, they sent me two with a note saying, "Thank you, da 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 da." So if y'all see this video, Marceau and Letitia, you let them know that I appreciated that. Okay. There was some years back, but I definitely appreciated that. So that's why I say I don't know these people personally. I just know them business wise. When I order something from Melanie Cherie Rogers, I'm gonna say her name because normally I say castmate. When I order something from her, it comes. I've never had an issue with it not coming in a decent amount of time. I've ordered from Stormy. I've never now people say, "Oh, her stuff is backed up, this and that." I've never had an issue from her with her stuff coming in. Okay. And I wear their stuffs at different times of the year. So for instance, Stormy, because I'm dry, more dry in the winter time, I wear more of her body glaze because hers is a little heavier, gives you a better shine, and that hard water from winter makes your skin a little drier. In the summertime, I may do a little bit more of Seventh Avenue oils because they're not as heavy. And I ain't trying to get toasted. I am a melanin type person, so I ain't trying to have my legs all toasted. But I switch up, just depend on what I'm doing. If I'm gonna be outside or inside. If I'm around a lot of heat, then I'll probably use Melody's products. If I'm gonna be inside, then I may use Stormy products. Mix and match. I don't care. I like them all, and not just Huntsville. I've ordered from other content creators. A t-shirt here, a hat there. I think I got a Queen Sheba hat that says pause on it. It's a white and green one. I think I wore it once or twice on a video, but I think my daughter ended up taking it from me. I have to go see if she got it still. So I don't have a dog in a fight. I don't hate anybody. I'm just not built that way. I may not like how you behave on the screen. I may not like some of the stuff that come out of your mouth and talk about it. But don't take it personally because you may not like me. And I damn sure don't take it personally. Okay. I needed to say that because that was some stuff building up in my chest. And another reason I say this before I get started on my commentary is, oh my God, please don't get in my comments with this. But the stuff I see on YouTube, I don't even know how we got here. Because I really started getting into YouTube and stuff like that, during COVID, like most of us. People shut down, start watching more stuff. And I'm like, God, I was so happy to see so many successful people, doing this thing and doing with, no skills in media, just going on here, just being themselves. But it seemed like now everybody's like, boom, trying to get this person, that person. It is billions of people on this platform. What's for you is for you. What's for them is for them. Don't try to be somebody you ain't. I come on here and just be myself. All right. Now let's get into Huntsville because I'm gonna make this quick. Baby, I don't know where this show is going, but we need to figure it out. Okay. I'ma save Trisha ass. Excuse me. Try not to curse. I'ma save Trisha for last because Trisha is something else. But let's start with Letitia and Marceau quickly. Why? And I wrote this down so I did not forget it. Why does Marceau have to tell Letitia Scott, come to the front? Why does Marceau have to tell you that your comment was wrong? You say you have all these degrees and you're highly intelligent, and I'm not taking that away from you. I think you are. But for your husband to tell you what you said was wrong, and for you not to see it yourself, tells me that either you are deflecting, you are emotionally disconnected, or how do I put it? You basically have no sense of self-awareness. Now, I get what you were saying. I was just trying to use it as an example. Well, they say this about you, they also say this about him, but you threw that out there for a reaction. Stop lying in our faces. You literally threw it out for a reaction. And I'm so glad Marceau said, hey, the same reason you don't want people to say stuff about us is the same reason you shouldn't be saying anything about them. Thank you, Marceau. I'm just concerned that it took you to say that. Marceau is the only one that can keep Tisha in line. Everybody else, Tisha just says and does what she wants and goes off. And then when people check her, she gets upset. But it takes Marceau to tell her for her to see what she was doing was wrong. It takes Marceau to tell her that. When, according to you, if you that aware and keen of your surroundings, you should know exactly what you said and why you said it. And I think you did that intentionally. She said, well, should I apologize? Why did Marceau need to tell you to apologize for something you know was wrong? Okay. Now you just figured out with him that it was wrong. And now you needed his permission to see whether you need to apologize or not. Letitia Scott, stop playing in our face. Um, Destiny, Trish, and Nell. Destiny act like she was unappreciative that the Scotts went to Detroit. She was like, oh, I guess they just never seen me around a group of people. No, because you haven't been not been transparent. They've been telling you that. So they probably didn't think you had much family. So that was just, I mean, just like the lady on Bell Collector's timbre, you can't accuse people of seeing you in a certain way if that's all you display to them. Perception becomes their reality. So they perceive you as being a person who don't have a big gang of people around you or a big extended family because they never see you around or talk about it. Because remember, you don't talk about your family. You're just getting into that deep this year. Just keep it a buck. Um, so they let Nell know that I'm sorry, they let Nell know what Letitia said about Lance being in the DMs. And Nell is like, Letitia Scott said that? Because Nell already know this is the whole reason me and her ain't close because she wanted people out of her business. And now she in somebody else's business. But then we get to Trisha. And again, I'm saving my commentary for Trisha last because we know what happened on that porch. And last but not least, they did show uh Tisha, I'm sorry, they Nell just kind of explained to them how she was feeling, everything that's going on with the family and how she's taking care of everything. Okay. And they did show Martell sitting there telling Destiny about the DM gate, the DM gate with Lance and Trisha. Okay. And then Destiny brought it forward and then it went from there. So we're gonna talk about that later. Now, next, Lance, Kayla, and Nell meets up. And once again, Nell is like, look, Lance, this is the last time I'm spending money on your party. Okay, you gonna have to start doing this yourself. He's grown. Baby, he's 31. You shouldn't have done that. Unless you was throwing him a surprise party, he should have paid for his own party. He got a job. He wear the hat every day. Green spaces. Why ain't paying for his own party? Oh, because he got 3 kids out there he got to take care of in a house and a home. Responsibilities. Pay costs to be the boss, as they say. Now, you in a conundrum right now. Your husband has lost his license. You need all the money you can get. You need to stop paying for these parties. I was just wondering why he did it at this place called Vibes and didn't do it at Black, but maybe they just I don't know. Maybe that place was bigger than Black or whatever. But what Nell said was true to Lance. Like, look, you are a grown up. You need to start acting like a grown up. Keep your ass from outside. You need to might stay inside just a little bit more because you got these 3 kids that you got to take care of. And one of them is a baby, apparently, you got custody of. And Nell is overwhelmed watching these grandkids taking care of her business and now covering for the loss of Chris's income. I mean, are you taking any of that in consideration, Lance? And then Lance said, well, I just want to tell you I'm dating again. But I mean, I ain't outside all the time, but I got to go every now and then have some fun. Well, apparently fun led to you having I guess, a bruise on your nose and getting beat up. He said he fell. That's what he said. He said he wasn't drunk, he fell. I don't believe that. I think Lance got into a scuffle, or may have drank too much and fell and hurt himself acting a fool. Um, then Lance started talking about the comments on his post from Trish. We'll talk about Trish again later. And then now, like me, most people like, oh, I mean, we're older particular generation. So I'm like, okay, these emojis actually mean something. I didn't know the licky tongue meant I want to taste you or something. I get the little cute eyes. People do that on baby pictures and stuff. So I get that. But the licky tongue, and even the daughter, she even said, hey, Kayla said, yeah, that kind of means something. And now Lance looking stupid. And he just smiling. And I'm like, Trish, you at it again? So now family said, look, I don't know what you got going on out here, but I need you to keep all these strays away from my grandchildren. And I agree with Nell. Lance, if you're not going to be serious with these ladies, don't bring them around your kids. She is right about that. Because these young ladies do what they call crashing out. And I done seen it right here, live and in person, where somebody got crashed out on, and the person came and just tore up their vehicle. I've seen it where they came and tore up the household. They do that nowadays. So if you're not serious, let these people know off the cut. Here is the status of this situation. But you know Lance, he gonna be Lance. And Lance starting to act a little messy, in my opinion. He's starting to act a little messy to me. And maybe that's just my me. But I think Lance is yeah, she started acting a little messy to me. And then after that, I think they show the party, the upcoming party. Now, when they get to the party, I find this all crazy. But anyway, when they get to the party, all the people show up, and of course the conversation, Lance turns the conversation into Trisha, sending out a little signal per se with him. But you know what? Scratch that. Go back. Kiera and Lance are sitting at the bar, and then Miss Nell comes over, and I think Caleb was there too. I can't remember, but I know it was Kiera, Lance, and Miss Nell. The guys are on the side eavesdropping. They keep walking up, listening, backing up, but they are eavesdropping on Miss Nell. Miss Nell talks loud anyway, and she's telling Lance, "Hey, what are you and Kiera doing?" Kiera and Lance can't figure it out. Kiera's asking him, "I don't know what you want." Lance like, "What you want?" And basically, Kiera wants a committed relationship. Lance want a situationship. Be available when I need you. Y'all call it situationships this particular generation. We called it booty calls in my generation because it's not real. She said, "Hey, I be in the house. We spend time with the kids, and then I go to bed, whatever. And I wake up and you gone 4, 5, 6, 11 hours. Don't tell me where you at." And Nell is saying, when you sat at my table, you said y'all was exclusive. If you exclusive, you need to let this girl know where you at. Text her, say, "Hey, I'm with the boys. I'm at, Black Lounge, or I'm at Vibe Lounge, or whatever." She's saying she don't know where you be at. Lance said, "I ain't got to tell you nothing." Lance, you got 3 damn babies. You don't need to be out there in them streets having any more babies. You got a woman who's willing to accept you and the kids, and she got kids and settle down with you. If you don't want to be with her, let her know, because it's not making sense. Okay? She wants to be exclusive. You don't want to be exclusive. Um, she wants to know what is in the relationship. She wants to know where the relationship is going, and Lance don't want to make commitments. And I just feel like Lance is 31 years old and he needs to grow up. You got 3 kids, you running a business, you have your own home. You're going to have to settle down, because apparently running out in these streets is probably what got you divorced and what got you with these extra babies. Slow down. Nell is saying you don't need to be outside, you need to be inside, and you just freaking not hearing it. Now, Kiara, I don't know how many different ways a man could tell you, "You're not my girlfriend. We're not monogamous, but I just need your availability when I need it." Okay? When I show up, just be there. I don't know how many ways a man could tell you that for you not to get it, and he did it on TV. You should have been out right then and there. There was no more talking after that. And you continue to try to justify it. That man was not going to tell you we are exclusive. Nell figured it out. Hell, the rest of the viewers figured it out. And maybe you was doing that for the camera, but Lance was not trying to be exclusive to you. That's all I'm saying. Now, after that, they both confessed that they were both seeing other people. So he's like, "Wait a minute. What do you mean? Kara seeing other people too?" And she said, "Well, yeah, I'm entertaining other guys." Well, why y'all together? Why are you dragging Nell through this? If you know that's the dynamic of your relationship, why do you care if Lance is out all night? Lance, why do you care? Why don't y'all just not even be together and just stick to the booty calls? Ain't no sense spending at her house. Ain't no sense she spend night at your house. And I get what Nell saying, "Stop bringing these strange people around my grandkids." And she told Lance, "Don't you bring anybody else to my dang on dinner table. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I don't like meeting people unless there's something serious, because otherwise you're wasting my time. And she's right about that. Now, with that being said, the rest of the night consisted of Trish, Ken, this DM, this posting the picture, and all of that. So the ladies are in the back, boom. The men are inside. And they both having simultaneous conversations about Trish posting in the DMs of Lance. Lance walks over to the guys right next to Martell. You know, Martell is a pot stirrer, and said, how would y'all feel if a girl in this group that's dating a guy in this group, heart emoji, the picture, whatever he said. And then, you know, Martell, God damn, Trish. And Martell said that he knew immediately Trish was lying. He knew what Trish was up to, because you're not going to convince me that Martell and Trish didn't do something when she came to Martell's house. Trish, I'm sorry. You looking like a little thought pocket. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, this ain't the first time you've been caught, and this ain't gonna be the last, from what I could see. And again, this is all alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. So then the guys is like, well, let me see. Lance shows him everything. Then Ken walks up. Marguerite says, hey, you might want to put these muscles away. Ken's like, what's going on? Oh, I knew about the DM. We discussed it. Ken, stop. I am so over Ken trying to sit here and pretend like he said it was weird, but we already talked. We I know about it, but I think it's weird. But you know, me and Trisha doesn't talk a lot, so I don't take half the stuff she says seriously. And all the guys are looking, and then Martell is like, yeah, that's what she said. That's what she said. So Martell is basically low key shading you, letting you know Trisha's a liar. He's letting you know she even lied about our situation. That's what I got out of Martell's gesture. Okay. So Ken is, somebody said something about, aren't y'all supposed to be cousins? And everybody look cousins. And then Fletcher says, yes, she's my cousin. Now I want y'all to remember this. And maybe I got this wrong, but Lance is Nell's biological son, not Fletcher's. And then, of course, Fletcher has a biological daughter who y'all all seen on the internet talking about Chris and everything, and Nell and the family. So if Lance is Nell's biological son, but not Fletcher's biological son, even though Fletcher, he considered Chris Fletcher to be his dad, he's technically not related by blood to Trisha. But I know how some old school families go, and some black families, if you're married like that, they still consider you blood. But technically, there's no cringy moment in that. And they try to make it out like that, but it's not. Okay, because I think Chris Jr. and Caleb are the son and daughter they have together, and then each of them have one outside the marriage. And I think Nell's oldest son, if I'm mistaken, Lance, is not Chris's son. So even though Trisha is supposed to be related to Chris, she's not technically related to Nell and her son. All right, other than a cousin-in-law to Nell, and have no real relationship to Lance. So they need to stop trying to put that narrative out there. And this is what I be saying about these narratives they put out. That looks bad, like some type of incest type stuff, and that's not what's going on. So y'all shouldn't have edited to make it look like that. Tell the truth and shame the devil. All right. So Martell is like, hey, whatever she said, basically Ken is gonna believe. Ken said, I'm out, I'm in my own apartment, doing my own thing. He don't know where they try to show up for each other, but they don't know where this relationship is going. They've been to therapy, all this stuff. Ken, just stop. Martell, as much as I don't like Martell, in this moment, I agree with Martell. Martell is basically saying, don't matter. Whatever y'all say, Ken is going to believe Trisha. Trisha is lying. Every man standing there looking at you, letting you know she is lying. She told you she fat fingered the licky tongue because it was right next to the kissy face. Why are you even sending him a kissy face? You could have said, hey, you look good, cuz, or you look good, Lance, or just hit a like button. You got to send all that extra. That is flirting. And then Ken kept saying, well, I mean, it's just in the DM, wasn't much, nothing. You met Trish in the DM. Let's just call a spade a spade. You met her in a freaking DM. That's why I'm saying this show is just it's crazy. You can take Trish and Ken out the group chat for me, and I'm cool with it. I support for the most part, unless you get crazy like a Nick Cannon or something. I don't have time for that. Or Chili, I don't support that kind of foolishness. But I support the TV shows because we don't have these opportunities and we want to make the most of them. When you have a good viewing audience, don't run us away because we will be loyal to you if you do it right. And I'm going to say this, take Trisha and Ken out the freaking group chat. And I'm blaming Stormy and Courtney for this one. Because Stormy and Courtney introduced Trish and Ken, apparently, quote unquote, as their replacement because they knew they were leaving. And they not giving us nothing but lie after lie after lie. And frankly, we're tired of hearing it. So let's move on to Trish because I saved her for last. And Trish is big. And I'm going to tell you something about Trish, honey. Trish had that tank top on with them big sweat stains underneath it. Oh, nails. I'm sorry. Oh, nails porch because I thought it was a shadow. I said that's sweat or a shadow, but that was sweat. But she has some beautiful arms. Trish got the arms people dream of. I mean, her arms are toned. I'll give you that. And I get it. It's hot in Alabama. It might be sweat. I sweated in my arms too sometime. I'm just saying, Trish, that was just a joke. Don't take it personally. But let me say this, girl, you got to stop lying. I don't know who face you think you playing there, but when you're dealing with grown people who have life experiences, who've been in relationships and marriages and divorces and had children and all this crap you going through, you can't sit up in front of Beyonce's good internet and look at us on this TV screen and think we believe the shit coming out your mouth. You are a liar, which goes back to why I said I'm saving her for last. Because apparently, this wasn't all Marquez's fault in this little divorce separation. Because if you talk to him in any way that you're talking to Ken and lying to him in any such ways you lying to Ken, I can see why he left you. I can see why he acts the way he does. Because the mental gymnastics you play on Ken, you probably did that to Marquez that led him to behave the way he behaved like now. Now, I'm not saying 100% because it's 50-50, but you impacted something on that man. This was not all him. You made sure it looked like it was not all him, like you trying to act like this is King. Something is wrong with you, Trish. And I get it. I have empathy for all the loss that you have suffered over the years in your family, but that does not excuse the lying. Even the ladies on the show don't believe you no more. When you show them that little heart emoji and all that stuff, you say, "Oh, I fat fingered it. Oh, it was karaoke night and we were drunk." Remember that? Trying to get them to remember karaoke night, whatever. They're trying to compare the dates and when he posted versus when you replied and all that. Trish, just stop lying and just say, "Hey, I hit it. I liked it." But it looks bad because Destiny was dating, having a trying to build a friendship with Lance. You know that. Okay. Kiara was pissed off because Destiny was sitting in the driveway. As Nell said, in my big ass driveway in my house in the car for 45 minutes with Destiny, but you said you was with Kiara. Nell just had to make sure she got that out. Kiara was pissed. But she's at the same party with Destiny. Again, this gotta end. This gotta stop. So you sat there on Nell's back porch and said, "Me and Ken can't talk about having kids. We gonna have a baby." Girl, you ain't, according to Nell at this moment, you're not even divorced yet. And y'all ain't even married. And then Destiny is telling you, girl, that's how these men trap you. They get you with that baby so they in your life forever. They can go on and do what they want to do, but they will always have you because you got a baby. They can come pop in and out, see you whenever they want and try to ruin what you try to build afterwards. And I'm like, she said, "Well, I ain't not having any more kids." Trish, stop lying. Stop lying. Ken, why would you want to have a baby with a woman that don't even know if she wants to marry you? We got to stop putting these children first and put marriage first. And stay married for a year or two first before you start plopping out children for these people. This is crazy. And they looking at her like, and Destiny made a good comment. When y'all gonna make the baby? On the 3 days y'all together? Because you break up every 3 days. You got better get pregnant on them 72 hours y'all together. And I'm with Destiny. And I ain't never been a big fan of Destiny. But in this particular season, so far, Destiny has reached a different type of growth and milestone. People still have their issues with Destiny, and I do to a certain degree because I'm never gonna like the way she treated her ex-castmate. But good Lord, if Daphne is a sound mind on this show right now, is a person giving out the most reasonable advice, y'all are hitting rock bottom. Literally. Y'all are hitting rock bottom. Because I remember when Carlos, and I like Carlos, but Carlos kicked Destiny off the show for not being transparent. I remember that. Now Destiny back telling it all. And Trish, you on the show not being transparent, but you're lying. So take us out the group chat. Okay. Then you said that y'all going to therapy and y'all working on it. You working on it, you're not working on it. At the beginning of the show last week, you said Ken had moved back in, but Ken keeps saying he's still in the apartment. Then you said you sent a heart emoji, and the tongue licky emoji was next to the heart emoji, and you fat fingered it. You sent three heart emojis. Did you need to send a fourth one? So that didn't make sense. Then you said Lance gave you a personal invitation. And then Nell spilled the beans that you and Lance done had an outside friendship and y'all talk all the time. When you were sitting on her back porch, you said, "Oh, I talk to Lance all the time." When Destiny made the comment that Lance talks to me, but he be dumping himself on me like I'm a therapist. And God knows, Lance, we don't need Destiny as your therapist. And then Trish had to chime in. Well, I talk to him too. Trish, you're lying all the time. So you heart emoji, heart emoji, lick tongue, having conversations with Lance, but you ain't, but that's all it is. And Ken know nothing about it. You told Ken, oh, I just hit a heart emoji and that was it. But you ain't told Ken y'all having conversations. Because according to you, y'all talk all the time. See, these lies just keep getting entangled and entangled to Trish. Take us out the group chat. I don't know how many times I can say it. It's really not good for the show because it looks like you're messing with your cousin's son. This is worse than the alleged grooming stuff from last year. You freaking incest. Excuse my French. God, forgive me. YouTube, you can black that out. But I'm just saying that's what it kind of looks like. But we know you're not blood related, but that's not the narrative they're running with, Trish. Y'all can believe what y'all want to believe from Trish, allegedly, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. But I no longer believe a damn thing coming out of Trish's mouth. And like was it Marceau and Maurice? I don't remember if Martell said it, but one of them, I think it was Marceau, say you guys be setting thirst traps up on social media. You do. I see your pictures. Y'all looking sexy as hell. You know somebody's gonna DM you. And Marceau gave you the best advice because Marceau been through it. He said, hey, y'all got to stop letting outside people influence y'all. Don't be responding to these DMs. People are going to say what they want to say about your relationship. Don't let them make you decide who you're going to be with, who you don't want to be with. Because Marceau, no, they be eating his wife up. They eat him up a little bit, but a lot of people probably like Marceau more so than he like his wife. So he gets it. And they also know how much weight the fans have because of the whole millimeter thing and how that viewership fell off when she would tell them black out or don't watch the show. So they know how much social media can control the fans. So when you're sitting here lying like this, they eventually, the fans of the show is going to say, you know what, y'all need to go. We don't want to see y'all no more. You're going to get yourself out of a good spot. That's all I'm saying. But Trish, I Kim is the biggest. I'm sorry, and I have to say this with all due respect. Ken is the biggest simp I've ever seen. The biggest simp, and I don't mean that because he's nice I mean, good Lord, how many ways can this lady walk over you, and you let it happen? And you supposed to be the man. You over there in an apartment, and then she picks and chooses when you can come to the house. She don't want to take your ring and don't want to marry you. But then you telling her you want her to have your baby. Ken, have you looked in the mirror? You are a very handsome, eligible bachelor with no freaking kids and a job. There ain't no woman in Huntsville, Alabama who is single and look just as good. Or Trish can't be the only girl that works out there that look good. That will take you in a heartbeat. As I say in every video, you are in love with Trish. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But Trish ain't in love with you. Because a woman in love with a man ain't for the heart emoji another man's pick. She may, hit down, like it, or put fire. Hey, that's fire. Hit the fire button. But she ain't for the heart emoji no other man's picture. And I don't even talk social media. I'm just talking real. All right. And I know I went long, so I'm going to end this video. But Trish and Ken, take us out of the damn group chat. Because this is freaking crazy. And y'all will be the downfall of this show if y'all don't stop. Now, Martell, I don't know where it's going to end to begin with you. They throw you in there. You say a few words and laugh. I don't really see any storylines with you at all. At this point, bring in Arion. I know people going to hate I said it, but shit, bring in Arion. Them two, Letitia Scott and Kimmy Scott, are probably the two people that are fighting for Ariana not to come because they already know if they get under her skin, she gonna spill it all on national TV, and that's probably why she ain't on the show yet. And that's cool. But Martell, maybe you could just film her and you in the house with y'all baby together doing something. I don't know. But if you want the ratings to go up, bring in Ariana. And with that being said, this is Gen X Nation. Don't have a dog in this fight. Everything on my channel is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I'm sorry I had to do a couple of disclaimers in there because, like I say, these YouTube streets are dangerous and I want no parts of it. I just do my stuff that I enjoy doing and mind the business that pays me. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you. Hit the like, leave a comment. Y'all let me know if y'all think Ken and Trish should continue if the show survives another season. Because I hear the ratings ain't great. I don't wish downfall on anybody. I want everybody to succeed, whether I agree with them or not. You know, I just want people to succeed. We got enough going on in this world, especially in our community, to be waiting and wishing for people to fail. Okay, because we got enough obstacles against us already, and everything that we got to help advance us, they're taking that from us too. So with that being said, you guys go and have a great rest of your day. I hope you had an outstanding resurrection weekend with your family and friends and had some Easter egg hunts and ate some good food. And this week is starting off good. And you know, as always, pray for the world. Just your next nation. Leave me a comment, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Peace. And as always, I'm out.